So this is the Anti-Franco student movement, which were a series of protests basically organized by students and some workers. Francisco Franco's regime lasted from 1935 to 1975 as a dictator in Spain. He rose to power during the bloody Spanish Civil War when, with the help of Nazi Germany and fascist Italy, his nationalist forces overthrew the democratically elected Second Republic, meaning in this civil war he got rid of democracy and established a new regime. During this time he assumed the title of a caudillo, which basically stands for a leader wielding military and political power. This period is known as the Francoist Spain or the Francoist dictatorship. He was a fascist leader who sided with Hitler and other fascists from the time. The problem was that he had established a right-winged military dictatorship, and under this dictatorship, Spain saw its political parties banned, as well as labor unions, and any political display was forbidden. This regime also essentially made Catholicism the only tolerated religion in the whole country. He banned the Catalan and Basque languages outside the home and forbade Catalan and Basque names for newborns, and these both languages were Spain languages, so he only allowed Spanish to be spoken. He promoted economic self-sufficiency policies and created a vast secret police network to spy on citizens. And these police also controlled a lot of aspects in people's lives. Colleges were especially targeted for both repression and advantage. Professors were intensively purged, while many students were forced to drop out of colleges. Vacant chairs and special degrees were granted to faithful candidates who would have personal interest in defending the new situation in the years to come, meaning that educational places were actually being limited as Franco placed people and students who he knew that wouldn't betray him. Moreover, already during the Civil War and also after the victory, universities were politically used as tokens of the cultural restoration. There was discontent from the students and some professors, and Franco knew it, but he just chose not to pay attention to it. And in the past, any serious attempt of spreading open criticism against the government was systematically stamped out, as happened in the late 40s with several underground student groups trying to revive the former unions were disbanded by the police in Madrid and Barcelona. Most undergraduate students were unconcerned about their government and the autocratic nature of the government, and were inclined to give the police the benefit of the doubt whenever they saw someone getting arrested. But after a while, things started to get more visible. Trying to avoid these stereotypes exploited by the authorities, political groups stepped back and promoted independent unions instead, such as the Interschool Commission in Barcelona and the Spanish Democratic University Federation in Madrid, which were aimed to gather together anyone who wanted to put an end to the monopoly that was being put by Franco, to the regime that he had established. Everyday union activism and individual self-fulfillment were so successful that dissenting organizations grew in number and expanded to other schools and campuses. They all wanted a democratic and egalitarian university, revived the students' rights once promised by the government, and demanded that the official union was turned into an independent, representative, and participatory structure. After many years of silence and sitting back and observing Franco's regime and the complete control they had over the people and students, many students and workers united and actually formed a protest. The protest goal was actually demanding democracy. They wanted a government, an official union that was turned into an independent and representative one in which they could participate. They wanted trade unions and workers' rights. They wanted an education reform, the one they were promised by the government at the beginning. And they were against police brutality and involvement. The protest took place at the University of Madrid. Actually, the campus had to remain closed for over a month due to the protests, because they were not just happening in one day. These protests actually affected the students and workers, as they were the ones protesting and they could face harsh police brutality. But it also affected the government and Franco, as more people joined the beliefs of the protests and more people were beginning to open their eyes and join the protest. After many years of protesting and movement against Franco, in December 27 in 1978, Spain finally becomes a democracy. Student rights. Where are they? You promised.
We want democracy.
A better way that this protest could have gone in order for it to have a bigger impact would have been that not only the protest would have taken place in the University of Madrid, but I think it would have been a great idea if many universities from Madrid, the capital, could have agreed to form a path, a walk, a route in which these protesters could have walked around the whole day, causing a bigger impact, more people to see it, and a better protest itself.